Hello and welcome back to the Second Chance to Live channel here on YouTube. I'm happy to see that you decided to stop by to watch this video presentation. Thank you. Several years ago, I wrote an article, and during this holiday season, I would like to share that article again with you in video format. The article's title is Celebrating What Makes You Unique and Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. As you listen to the article being read and questions come to mind, please send those questions to me. All questions are good questions, and I would love to hear from you. You may do so through the comment section here on YouTube or through my contact information page on Second Chance to Live at secondchancetolive.org. To read the article, I'll put my glasses back on and bring up the article. I want to thank you for your time. You're an important part of my process, and you are a valuable individual. Here's the article. Hello and welcome back to Second Chance to Live. I'm happy to see that you decided to stop by to visit with me, my friend. You are always welcome around my table. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to both you and your family. During this time of the year, we hear and maybe find ourselves singing various Christmas carols. These Christmas carols or songs have been synonymous with this time of the year. One of these carols or songs is Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. As a youth, I heard this carol song sung with the thought that this is a happy song. As I've grown older, the words of the song have taken on a different meaning, and I'd like to share that with you. As the song begins, we are drawn to the names of Santa's reindeer: Dancer, Prancer, Vixen, Comet, Cupid, Donner, Blitzen, and Rudolph. As the song continues, special attention is drawn to Rudolph. The song tells us that Rudolph had a bright, red, shiny nose that some would say even glowed. We are given the impression that Rudolph's nose distinguished Rudolph from other reindeer: Dasher, Dancer, Prancer, Vixen, Comet, Cupid, Donner, and Blitzen. With the next several lines of the carol or song, we hear that Rudolph is laughed at, called names, and not allowed to join in reindeer games. Although the reasons why Rudolph is shunned, laughed at and called names is not made clear. What is made clear is that Rudolph's bright shiny nose made him different from the other reindeer. Although Rudolph is merely a fictional character in the Christmas song, his plight can easily be identified with by people who have experienced similar rejection and ridicule because they are different from the other members of the herd. As I listened to the song with my new understanding, I found that I could identify with Rudolph's experience with the herd of other reindeer. Although I attempted to get along for many years to find a place and position in the herd, I continued to experience feelings of alienation and isolation for being different. As we continue to listen to the lyrics of the song, we hear, "Then one foggy night, Santa came to say." In this part of the song, we hear that Santa recognized the value of what made Rudolph different and uniquely qualified to fulfill a unique need to empower the herd and his mission. Upon reflection, I can only imagine what Rudolph and the other reindeer thought when Santa asked Rudolph, "Won't you guide my sleigh tonight?" What the herd had laughed at and ridiculed and scorned, Santa saw as essential to accomplishing the mission before him, to guide his sleigh. Rudolph's gift, what made him different, empowered him to fulfill what none of the other reindeer could hope to do. What made Rudolph, different, equipped him to be of maximum service to Santa, to his fellow reindeer, and as the song infers, to many boys and girls. In my experience, because I bought into the notion that I deserved to be ostracized, ridiculed, and rejected because of what made me different, I criticized and berated myself for being different. Consequently, I had a difficult time celebrating the possibilities surrounding what made me different. Subsequently, instead of feeling connected with a sense of belonging and inclusion, I experienced feelings of alienation and isolation. Instead of using my time and energy to explore how I could use what made me different, I sought to gain the approval and validation of the herd. Excuse me, I continued to feel isolated and alienated from the herd and from myself until I experienced a spiritual awakening. The spiritual awakening revealed to me that I could no longer afford to be distracted by what the herd could not accept or understand. My spiritual awakening revealed to me that I no longer had to wait for the herd to recognize, accept, or approve of the value of what made me different. My spiritual awakening revealed to me that I needed to begin to use what made me different despite the herd's continued ridicule, and exclusion. My spiritual awakening revealed to me that a loving God wanted to use what made me different to be a blessing to the herd as well as to individuals ostracized by the herd, just as Santa used what made Rudolph different to bless the herd, the mission, and to many individuals outside the herd. In my experience, you may have also found that, as Rudolph and I have discovered, that there is something that makes you different. You may be a traumatic brain injury survivor, an individual living with a disability, or you may have experienced some other kind of trauma, abuse, or adversity that makes you different or contributes to you being different. Consequently, you may find yourself being ridiculed, ostracized, and excluded by the herd. In the process, you may have a difficult time accepting yourself for being who you are as an individual. As I have shared in this article, I can identify with you, but that is not the end of the story. The end of the story is that a loving God is going to use what makes you different, as Santa used Rudolph. What makes you and I different is essential. What makes you and I different is essential to fulfilling God's unique mission through our lives. What makes you and I different will be used to draw the herd to fulfill its purpose. What makes you and I different will be used as beacons of hope to draw our brothers and sisters from the shadows of isolation and feelings of alienation. What makes you and I different will make us leaders. What makes you and I different will help dreams live in people. What makes you and I different will empower people to move beyond the shores of their fears and apprehension. What makes you and I different will give people hope. What makes you and I different will bring about the changes that we want to see in the world. Here are several quotes that I like that are in league with what I just shared. First they ignore you, then they laugh at you, then they fight you, then you win, by Mahatma Gandhi. Be the change you want to see in the world, by Mahatma Gandhi. Do not wait for leaders, do it alone, person to person, by Mother Teresa. You don't have to be a person of influence to be influential. In fact, the most influential people in my life are probably not even aware of the things they've taught me. And that's by Scott Adams, an American cartoonist. Insist on yourself. Never imitate. Your own gift you can present every moment with the cumulative force of a whole life's cultivation. But of the adopted talent of another, you have only an extemporaneous half possession. Do that which is assigned to you, and you cannot hope too much or dare too much, by Ralph Waldo Emerson. And the last quote is, if you advance confidently in the direction of your dreams and endeavor to live the life that you have imagined, You will meet with a success unexpected in common hours, and that's by Henry David Thoreau. Again, I want to thank you for your time. Be encouraged, my friend. More will be revealed to us in time, so keep being who you are. Follow your dreams and the visions in your heart, and trust the process. Trust the loving God, and trust yourself. I'll say so long for now. Have a great day, and Merry Christmas to both you and your family. So long now.